Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Firstly, an apology. I'm cranking out a lot of videos at the moment. I genuinely don't mean to flood you and bore you. Well, I probably am boring you, but I will put videos up when I've got something to say, show, whatever, you know. And it ebbs and flows. It never ebbs that much, as we all know, but you know, there are times when I might just put one up in 7 days or 10 days or whatever, because I genuinely have nothing to show you. But the thing is with Gav's channel, obviously I paint war games figures, I paint display figures, and I do military, well, models in general really, but you know, tends to be more military models. So I've always got something on the go. Just wanted to explain that because I seem to be putting a ton of videos up at the moment, and as I say, I'm not trying to bore you all to death. I know I can do that quite easy. As a good member of the channel, Justin the miniature painter, the miniature painter, but we all know Justin. He said, you know, he was starting to ramble like Gav, as I'm doing now. I did suggest we start a Ramblers Association, but I do believe there is one that actually does the walking around the countryside and stuff like that, so I'm afraid they've beaten us to it. Right, let's get back to it. You'll see by the title we're looking at some two samurai figures from the Test of Honor. There you go, smashed up head. Test of Honor. It's a war game, skirmish level type games. What we say, if you hear occasionally people saying skirmish games to my modelling marrows, it just means a small war game with a few figures. Not necessarily always 28mm, but they tend to be usually the larger scale figures, and they might have, it could be literally 2 figures facing off against each other. It could be 20 figures a piece. You know, it comes and goes size wise, but that's what it means when we say skirmish level. But they're particularly built, I always believe, for what we call kitchen table wargaming. You don't have to have a giant table or, you know, fold out tables, all that stuff. You can have a small, it might overflow slightly on your table, you might have to put a board on your table, whatever, but you know, they fit on your table roughly. I particularly like, well, one of my likes, I seem to have a lot of them, is the Japan in general, but the Age of the Warring States. I've always had a liking for that time. Age of the Warring States is like probably 1550, say. It was, I think it might have been slightly later, but 1550 up until 1600ish. It could have been actually earlier than that. It could have been going back to 1500. I forget. I was actually going to show you my stack of books on the period, so I should know a lot more. But as I say, with a smashed up head, things leave my head and come back in, and they leave, and it's horrible. But there you go. 2 figures to show you. Waffling again. Two figures to show you. They're Footsore Miniatures, as the title would suggest. I just wanted to give a shout out to Footsore on the packaging, not just because of the excellent figures, but the packaging. 2 figures, around £4 each. It did cost me around £5 in postage, one of them flat rate things, which I was getting a bit annoyed about, but came in one of them thin cardboard boxes. I mean, they're designed to go through your letterbox as well, but cardboard box, not a jiffy bag, a cardboard box. So my figures aren't knocked around. You know, I really appreciate that. The figures that I got from an eBay seller, the you know, the British Hussars I showed unboxing, that was from, I meant to shout that fella out as well, or fellerette, I'm not sure. And that is the Last Nazgul on eBay, if you're in the UK. I think he buys and sells, or she buys and sells, you know, buys up figures and sells them on and whatever. And that box came from them, and that was boxed. How many times I get boxes of soldiers, boxes or model kit boxes, books, and they're sent to me in jiffy bags, or in the size of books. Sometimes, I mean, that world of books I buy a lot of. I mean, fair enough, I'm paying £3 or something like that, but they constantly come in heat sealed bags, and it's disgraceful for my, you know, somebody's looked after a book all their life, probably passed away, they bought the collection up, and then they send it out to get battered in the post before it gets to me. And yet a smaller business like York Books up in York, Tornado Books in Birmingham, they come in cardboard boxes. You know, I'm not even after one of them fancy, you know, you rip the end of the cardboard box, take your book out, or figures, whatever they are. As long as they're just, you know, reused card, just stuck together, you know, just to protect things. That's all you ask for. And so Footsore, thank you very much for going. It shouldn't be the extra mile, it should be the norm. But thank you very much for sending your just 2 figures, and they still sent them out in a cardboard box. That's treating your customers with a bit of respect. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's go down and take a look. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. As I say, we've only got to look at 2 packets, and I say I'll probably talk more at the beginning than we're going to do now. Nice presentation. You can't beat a bit of cherry or a bit of plum with a blossom. Sakura, I believe. These 2 figures, they're not armoured. I wanted unarmoured figures. It just says on here Warring Clans. Now, I don't play the game. I have, if you know, this is a shameless plug, but if you are after a couple of Test of Honour figures well painted, wait till you see these come up, and if you fancy contacting me and taking them off my hands, you're more than happy to do so. Anyway, I wanted like an unarmoured figures. That I think 2nd edition's out now, because I was looking at a couple of. I can't remember the guy's company, and I can't remember the guy that actually does him now. I was only watching his video yesterday, or a video he was being interviewed on. But you pick your. Not all the clans are represented, obviously, in the whole of the Age of the Warring States, but they've got so many clans you can have. You can have the is it Iko-Iki or Iko-Iki, which are the civilians that were often rioting. You can have bandits. You can have Shohai monks. All the different Buddhist sects would often fight each other. Never mind, obviously the any samurai that were going against them. You'd have samurai that were Buddhist monks, or samurai being paid to fight for the Buddhist monks. You name it. You can have pirates. I'm not saying all these are covered yet in the game. I'm just going through my memory bank. But if you can see this guy, hands are separate. Very well cast. Again, that's from what I can see with the shininess. We've got a couple of worms, as we call them, that you just have to nip off. It's going to be a bit hard to show you a lot on this guy, just because obviously it's just all material until it gets painted. It's just shining away really, but I knew I wanted to get onto these at some point fairly quick, so I thought if I don't do one of these videos now, I'll not get it done. Yeah, really like that. And his swords, he's using them both. Oop. Just nip the ends off, obviously where they've been in the where they've been cast. Nice detail on the sword hilts. They'll need straightening out. Like all white metal, you're never going to get it. You know, I know some people replace them with metal. It's entirely up to you, really. To try and get a non-wavering sword, but in white metal you can only, you know, there's only so much you can do. I think the little one, is it the Wasi Shak? Oh, don't even try, Gav, because I'll just stuff it all up. But that's and they come with a little MDF base. I mean, I've got 1,000,001 one of these. I'd obviously plonk him on that one though, just because obviously it's for the game, so I take it there'll be base sizes. But I'm really looking forward to doing these. You can't go to absolute town. Quite often they'd actually be wearing quite drab materials. Not always bright and well, not garish, but you know, with lots of motifs on. The only problem you've got as well is at this scale is it is trying to replicate those type of motifs, you know, without making them either look naff or out of scale. I mean, this one's a lovely one, drawing the sword. I picked both of these just particularly because of I like the facial features, and I just really enjoyed the look of the figure. Perry look as if they've got some nice ones as well. There's obviously loads of these as well. For the life of me, I should have done this. It's just they've literally popped through the post, and I've stopped what I'm doing just to chuck up a quick video. But I can't remember the guy's company who's actually selling them. You know, the guy that I think he designed all the rules, and he's selling them all through his website. Grey something. But when I get to paint them, I'll make sure I get I'll get some links up. I just want to show you the figures really before I set to work on cleaning them and things like that. Just see what you're going to get if you choose to have a go on these figures. As I say, bought these myself. I'm praising Footsore Miniatures up because as I say, it's easy to run companies down, and it doesn't seem so easy to praise them, or you have to be given figures or given kits or whatever before you praise them. So Footsore, I owe Footsore nothing. They don't owe me anything. The same as the guy who's running all this, who I haven't been able to tell you who, but yeah, it's just my opinion. Lovely figures, well sculpted, and I've never had a bad cast off Footsore yet. I haven't done any of their figures for a couple of years, but I have been a buyer of their figures in the past, and I've always been pleased with them. I did a lot of their Roman or late Roman, into the Saxon period. I did a lot of their stuff, painted a lot of their stuff up in the past. So yeah, very nice. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. Again, more waffle than what you can actually see, but these will be painted up. I'm not saying with lightning speed, but I'll just have a quickly through. I have got a load of books, a lot of Ospreys, a lot of other books on the period. So I'll go through. As you guys know, I'm also into Japanese yukoi woodcut prints and stuff. So I've got a few books of them I'll be looking through as well, just for ideas of colours. It's mainly for colours more than anything. I've already got to be honest with you, I've already got a rough idea what I want to paint them wise, what colours I want to use. So watch your space, and as I say, if you are interested, you can always tell when Gav's lower funds, because I tend to push it more. If you are interested in Test of Honour figures painted to collector's standard, oh, by the way, I don't have standards, as my wife keeps telling me. But what I mean is, though, I don't have a grade of painting. Some guys will say, for this you get these how many highlights, and this is. I'm just saying they're painted. You don't have to game them. You can stick them in a cabinet and look at them. The only difference is obviously with the smaller bases like this, there isn't a lot you can particularly do with the base. I do like to tell me little stories of the bases, and these you really can't do a great deal. And to be honest with you, I was more interested in putting these more on as if it's like a town or a village street, where they've got some crushed earth or whatever tamped down, rather than just the tufts everywhere. Right, I'm waffling as always. Look after yourselves. We'll catch each other very soon on another video.